Hey, this is Bishop TK, and it is time for our weekly podcast. I hope that this week has treated you well. We are dealing with so much in the world today, and I'm grateful that I can take this time out of my life, use this space to be positive and to project that spirit across the airways. So, grace and peace to all of you. I have a confession. I am guilty. I am guilty of this thing that we're going to talk about today. And I have to use my own life because then that way it's real to me, right? So this scripture came to my mind, Matthew 7, verse 1. And it says, "Judge not, lest ye be judged." Well, I have to say that there were some times in my life that I judged people because, one, I was ignorant to whatever they were going through, and I really didn't have the sensitivity or the compassion or the empathy to relate to them. I had a very good girlfriend, my best friend actually in high school, and she was dating this drug dealer in her junior year, I believe, and he was good to her financially, but emotionally and physically, he was not a good guy. And I remember telling her, "Girl, you stupid. I wouldn't dare put up with nothing like that." And I used to tell her, girl, love don't make you do that now. Love don't make you lose your mind. Love don't make you act a fool, until I got in a similar situation and couldn't get out. Didn't know how to get out. It actually knocked the wind out of me because I was like confused for a moment. Am I really going through this? Guess who came to counsel me? The same girlfriend that I judged just a few years prior. Life has a funny way of boomeranging right back to you, where you used to look at somebody and say, "Girl, I wouldn't." And then God will let you go through something very similar where you have compassion about the person that you're watching from the outside looking in. I now begin to realize after that kind of situation that I went through that it is so immature and so loveless to look at someone and judge the book by its cover. I looked at her and I said, "Girl, you pretty, you smart. Why are you dealing with that?" But see, what I did not know were the paragraphs to her chapters that I had not read. I didn't know what caused her to get entangled in such a thing. I had no idea what he had said or done or the promises that he had made. I had no idea of how deep she was in love with him, which is a very hard thing to explain or to describe, even when you're taking crap for somebody you know you deserve better. So now when I read that scripture and I look at women and I look at their situations from the outside, the very first thing that I have prayed for is I said, "God, give me compassion for those women that think that we are going to automatically judge them." So when I see the young woman with 3 kids and no husband, or when I see the young woman that's standing on the corner with a sign, or when I see somebody that's homeless on the street, or someone that's unemployed, or someone that's standing in the food stamp line, I dare not judge them. I dare not judge them. I ask God to give me compassion that maybe I don't understand, but God, don't let me act ignorantly towards somebody that only needed a counselor and a second chance. So now I've kind of dedicated the rest of my older years to young women that may have embraced shame or guilt or embarrassment because they made decisions that maybe they're in it longer than what you've been in it, but you were still there. I never forget, I heard a preacher one day said, don't judge the prostitute. You just doing yours behind your bedroom doors for free. And that kind of stung because I was like, "Bishop, you cutting deep today, sir." Yeah, because just because she's doing it openly and you're doing it privately, it's still the same sin. So I began to really look at myself from head to toe, and I understand that I'm really no different from the next woman, the next girl, the next little young princess coming up the chute. We're all making decisions that we have to learn from, that we have to grow from, that we have to mature from. And I dare not sit in a seat and judge. I ask God to help me to embrace all races, all women, all colors. Because I promise you, somewhere we have had a similar thread going through our blankets that's been woven together called life. So I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Since you are a listener and a follower, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. I'm going to ask you to look at the next woman, and instead of judging where she is, her clothes or her shoes, or the fact that it doesn't look like she had a decent pedicure or manicure in a while, I don't want you to look at her hair or judge her wig or judge how many children she have running behind her. I want you to look at her and say, she's a woman just like me. I think if we all would embrace that, we would truly see a sisterhood in our lives. But it's difficult for us to see a sisterhood because you know why? We don't really embrace one another as family. But I'm going to tell you, just like my grandmother told me, family, keep family stuff in the house. So we're going to cover our next sister, right? We're not going to judge her. We're going to embrace her. So I was guilty of sneering my nose, being snobbish, being insensitive, being arrogant, living without compassion until God let me hit the same bottom of that barrel. And I said, okay, God, I understand. Don't judge her. Love her. Until next week, make it a good one. It's only up from here.